This is Boadu TV. Truth and integrity.
Adofo Boadu TV sunye ma yema mu nyina akwa bansanchia mo ebio na wotwe mu na Afia Pokua eko Manhyia se okopa chaw asema otena TV so kan no osusu se wanka ne na no na fumie ti okopa Otumfuo achaw no kure ni okoto Otumfuo ahemfo ema ade omoye no ho no onu no ho kra Ghana for dodo na ka se de ahemfo yi de omukura mugidi senka Otumfuo na te dwa kase ma aka bia enka wode beche Afia Pokua amonum hwa ema omuka se nya wona ofi kroboni na ofi sirem na like insembe bre ama menu kase Kevin Taylor so asem no mo chese enka yenya atemdidie ma ono Kevin Taylor ne twene Jonas na ye wen mama kana omo didi ni patem no nimu da se ahemfo betimi didi oba atemsa ewo TV so na in fact the ahemfo ne ye no mago Otumfuo ni mas papa Kevin Taylor neka so mu go Otumfuo ni mase so Otumfuo yi ni pabo ahyemo se mo mbra na mo mebi asem na kwala waba waye bone wabe bunkotodwe de mpanyefo di nachi mutim didi na tam dia ene de obeka kire ahemfo ne se omogu mani mase go Otumfuo ni mase odo mo ye no enye de hiani omunkuntia galamse na tatisi wasante memo no omunkuntia Kevin Taylor nsema woka eno no in fact ne raho se ahemfo no eyesa yenti no.
You're less than 74 days, 75 days to elections. You're more pressing issues to talk about. So what I think, say, there are so many things happening in this country. A simple distraction. There are a lot of people in Ghana today. Omunim say, MPP no edi ehwamo. And majority of those people are omo omunyini. Majority of omunim say NPP way is bad news, no. Majority of them are in Penifo, and I can say they are over 40 years. Majority, no. If you say sa nipa kuno, odomgu bracket bimwa omo twaba from 1992, and the reason why I'm saying that is omo enim governance from 1957. From 1957, omo more around 67, 65, 67 coming. Ebe sinde a omo dan hoti ase no. They know for a fact to say NPP are buying way, Sa part way, I say Ghana. They know. If you belong to this group of people, now say you also what we call a little bit of position. Ebia wanudu jom, ebia oye penyini, udi ni paso, udi asori enim, udi kuroso, oye ni patitiwa. Say oye ni pasa na say especially when him the course, then you just don't want to talk about it. I feel say you are not worth our time. You should be treated as a piece of rag. If we say unim say esana wucha no omo amudi wechi no bebre, you know. So at that moment, you are deliberately deciding to destroy the lives of the people of the young generation. Into wuni sa nipa no oyo mambo for. And say majority of we young people, Ghana for, say concentrating on such people, such things. What it does, and say we give relevance to irrelevant people. We give relevance to irrelevant people. And when you make irrelevant people relevant, in their head, they start to fool because they think their irrelevance is relevant. And so we have to be very careful how we give attention to irrelevant people and irrelevant issues. There were less than 75 days to go to the elections. Yes, you Ghana nyina say. Ghana sikasem nyina say. Adie bi ema Ghana ni bia oye young oye penyini ewo future bia Obinyan Kra Sheka Kra Ghana, everything has collapsed. As a nation, we have no future. Ghanaians are almost say, Ufre Ghana and India say, Onka Ghana future in the next 10 years in under this leadership. They cannot tell you. So, we have gotten to that point. We need to understand, say, baby, I do no more ding. Say, I akwara and a wejimia, I was say a catcher when a name say wejimi. Say, a penini and a wejimia, I was say a catcher and say wejimi. Na de bet mama akwara and wetia penini and say, penini no anyem penini dear. Say, penini anye penini dear, and then ma enquara, enya ho kwan, e kasa penini nimu. As simple. You don't need to have a PhD or any so because you're a crutch knee and so you need to understand this. When you go meet young people, sit somewhere else to speak ill or use strong words at anybody, especially people in power or people in position. Also, Busan will say, what is actually making these young people say these things? Because we live in a society where through respect, majority of us have become timid and foolish. Yet, a krumwa penidin kwasiasem kra ye pese akwara na wo hu se penidin kwasiasem no akwara no eden esapa penini ne chew efri se saa na ye ntete ye saa na ye nyini ye. We don't see any reason why we need to move away from such customs and tradition or whatever you want to call it. Sa ade no na ama yempenifo ni bi asai kru na bedru hande. And when you question the president of the Republic of Ghana, obi epenyini eti Ghana obeka kire say ka papa no no a anka obeka sa asem na kire no. But penyini no will refuse to address the reason why you are being critical of the president. The reason why you think the president is foolish and that at his age he should know better. But Obi reacted to the Okana Obeka say president in engineer. So president in engineer, then it means he needs to do what is right. So papa we engineer, it means he needs to do what is right. So mami we engineer, I will say oh yeah, dear yeah. Especially when you have a position to make a difference. There are two types of Ghanaians. You're the ordinary Ghanaian and you're the Ghanaian who can make a difference from what they say. They are even just their actions. So there are two types of Ghanaians in Ghana. Now, I have seen say this issue Abba Obia Kebi about a young lady who addressed a very important issue. And that issue has got to do with so many things. It had political twist, it had tribal twist, it had analytical thinking twist, it had confronting issues that is affecting Ghana. And Ninyina is got to do with Afia Pokua issue. But there's one thing that we all as Ghanaians cannot take away from what the lady said. And that thing we cannot take away from what the lady said was the facts. It does not matter how you treat her, how you treat what she said. It does not matter how you treat how she looks, whether she's beautiful or she's ugly. It does not matter the thrills. What matters most is the messenger has delivered the message. And the message that the messenger delivered, that message, is it potent enough? When we listen to the message, and that is the most important thing. Where the message came from, the vessel the message is coming from, or the vessel that passed on the message is just a vessel. You can pick that vessel, drop it. You can pick that vessel, throw it into a shit bin. You can pick that vessel and disgrace the vessel. But the question is, the message that the messenger delivered, how are we looking at the message? That message, can it help us? That message, is it going to destroy us? a hot and also conversation. It's very important because since say there's one thing we have all known. There's one thing we know, say the moment you say even odikro, and you say odikro. There are reasons why people go through some kind of vetting and tutorials and training and the preparation before you are made even odikro keke. You get it? Inti say unya sa elevation bedru bibi ti say ohene oman hene ana ohene kesia. Sometimes enye de be free wedum aba enye de obeka nemo for people to say asimesi ekọ e wo se wudi nipa enim no na omohu bibi wo ho a omom ne na nam kuro nim no ebi adodo no entumi enye ana ebi ni omo ebi omohu say we nipa bi a it does not matter how you are pushed to the wall, you have that composure. We nipa bi a sebio decision obi be take no, you take your time to think through before you do it. Inti say onam Ghana na say ka say we ye hene we ye de and hene a you have to understand say ye nyini keke ye nyi obia keke so medi hene. From my little cultural studies I've studied and also living or growing up as a young Ghanaian, understanding our customs and tradition, enye obia de di hene ye si hene obu ho owebusuom ahini ato no na mom ebia onom nsare do ekɔwinseni ebia ne mbape enye ebia nyoma bia oyɛ no se yɛde ne bedi hene na yɛntumi ntini mfiri ho na yɛabɔ atra no ne akɔfa obi foforo. It means for somebody to make you a chief and I say ɔhene say di nipa enim no, it means say wo nyansa nipa dodo a mudi wechi no omuni. So don't take it for granted. Don't take positions for granted. Now adeba kubia be di hu ya opa es Afia Pokua we any the group no e call Manhyia no. I saw chiefs sebio omo frantuma omo tia Otumfuo chaw mu. Yes, so person ka asem kire Onyankopon a wo ka kire mfrema. Enje so wokɔ ahemfie ana wokɔ Manhyia na ahemfo enan enum nsia te hɔ. Na omo ka say ye na ye wo Manhyia di asem a, it means every single one of them is wearing the shoes of omo penyini. Inti Asante hene se wokɔ Manhyia nde na se obi ti akonwam se ne ntuma ye fewo, se ne ntuma nya fewo, se ne ho fewo, se ne ho nya fewo, se wakɔ school, se wonko school. The moment a Manhyia etu sa nipa no set na asam so ma me no, it means nyansa onyame ededom de Asante hene no ene entity a Asante hene ko mu no ene senia yehu Asante hene no, you expect to say sa nipa na oto a sebio asam abeto na naso no obe yusu ana obe replicate the same nyansa do Otumfuo trim. Enti when you see ahemfo, irrespective of whatever has happened, the difference between me and ohene and they say ebia some to me okrumu a de meye me ho no ohene enye ne ho sa. That is the difference. And more importantly, say we ohene na say utinem ama ohene te say Otumfuo a, your conduct, your actions, your utterances should reflect nipa na ode ne mpaboa ma o setinem the diasem. I was quite amazed. Afia Pokua to me, as a rational, analytical human being, I see nothing wrong with it. She spoke about so many things. She spoke about chiefs. She spoke about the president. She spoke about our attitude. Some of us, some tribes respecting other chiefs respecting other tribes. She basically touched on everything. But you see, what I was so ashamed about yesterday was, and I think so we are Santinina sebio, so we are Santinina oyo hene a mamen kane munpi se we show Otumfuo ase se ohene a o se nwumre o fere ubu uti egbo fom na sebio o ka se akonya kesi e frɛ no ɛyɛ sikidwa no mogu n'anim ase. You know why? When you watch chiefs insult a woman on camera, uhu ahemfo etete Otumfuo name edi obatem. Yana nkesi edi atem a yejimi. Yana nkesi edi emebu no a yenim nyansa. Me nkopa ahini bia ndi ye. Mpapa de di hene. Yana nkesi bi yesi ye de ye ntete ye. Yana nkesi se bi o ye de ye jimi. Efri se nsem efri ano ba na kire se ya ma ye ntete ye. Ye mfri fie. Nipa anhyeda antete ye kwan bi sumpa se bi o emponche kwa ebetumi di omo so. I understand. I accept it. There are other people who are using strong language like myself. I don't have a problem. Yeah. It is how you see me. And think people should see us say, "Yana ye Jimmy, yana insem free and no ba and one tea." Now for a chief or hinia, ana ahemfo mujina Otumfuo papuom. Ekasama Otumfuo. Asem bi free mumu bia no ba ebia e Otumfuo anu asem. Inti so your hine na se o kasama Otumfuo na oba ana abayua. It does not matter. Anytime I start a card, I'm say there are so many things we look out for before we make somebody a chief. Sanka yakaso obia to be di hinia kebefo obia, but there are so many things answer be you hine no ehun se o wasade no. There are unique things e was wo asan we di hine. And this ahemfo asebio omo nyina gina Otumfuo anemu na omo se kwasea na omo di obatam eto oba ho na nka ye ne nkwai ye ne ye nya ade hyei e wa santimemu no ye ne asebio ye se ye nyini ya ya adwene wo fom a sebio ye busuafo entumi atete no ye mmom na nka wo se ye saa na se wo so TV abrante ababawa na ohu ohene pon se Otumfuo anemu na ose abayo bi akasa tia na adwirimu no abayo bi akasa tia ne hene enti ne hene asoma ne se ombagina TV so endidi obayo anatema. What does it say about ohene no? This is the biggest embarrassment to ohene bia wo Ghana. Because ende se obi di ahemfo na omutiti TV so edi obatem bebia ofri senia no hotie senia nanim tie na every insult that goes to you directly goes to Otumfuo. In the sebio, se mi bema no ka se ahemfo a na sebio mo hye Otumfuo empobuom edi atem sei sebio ma adwene wo fom ana sebio mo nim nyansa me di Otumfuo atem efri se ho na mote no na mote wo se Otumfuo. We should not put too much emotions. In the process of fixing a problem, you can destroy yourself. You might not like me, but what I saw, there be who you know, I'm a besia film. Teteno, ana yenyini no, ni ehunu se menhia de. Sebio ohene bi bie na no akasa o menhia, na oyobi a sebio yatete no. Se ohene etumi gina Ghana fo enim TV enim e wa ahemfie edi abayo atem adentira ono na adwene mu no. The abayo ne kae no entwa yi a. Then without due respect, any madman can be a chief. Any fool can be a chief. If you say, there's no difference between war hinena or kasansem no TV so and me ametia. So I have no reason to regard you as a chief. So I saw what happened yesterday and they say it is a total disrespect. Just say ahemfo no mo be share no mo go Otumfuo ko anim ase. They have lowered the respect at Otumfuo because if these are the council, with all due respect, say we mu na se bi omo ya ahemfo Otumfuo gi omo di. Say osmo omo se omonko ti n'anim a omo betuma ti n'anim a, then with all due respect, there's a lack of sense somewhere. Because the minimu no ohene entina bedwam endi atem. It does not matter. And you know one funny thing? Nobody forced this lady to come. So with that alone, no crampono, for the lady to even say, let me come, whether I'm guilty or not, no, you have to appreciate that. Say nipano or the buo amount. Now say akwarani betina with nimu. Now out of you think you want to be popular or out of childishness, you forget your role, the position you have been given, Now we jina national television so na udi obatem. Shene nine. Shene mayene yenye. Na nkonfondi atem. But for you to be representing Otumfuo and Asante, for you to go that low, Sikejwa ebaye enimguasiaka esikejwa enra ne count sikejwa kese. Say wa memory bia or see ye ne de sikejwa. I don't disrespect anybody. I'm telling you. Yeah. The reason why majority of the people today are not even watching their words are the actions and utterances of so-called ahimfubi. That is the problem. The message has been delivered. Asama Muhammad, peace be unto him, Edebaye. Asama Yesu Christo, Edebaye. Nipa bia ni asasi we so obetuma chichira tunu botum se mo bianka. De abayiwa ne kan wa kan wie. De abayiwa no ekaye no what she said it. And you see, our problem as a people and currently our problem as leaders, we are missing the fundamentals. The emaye nipa ye di dominim. The emaye ahemfo. The emaye nipetitiri. We don't understand because we have been so involved in petty, emotional, tribal discourse. We have been so involved in petty, political, tribal discourse. So the principles, the emaye ahemfo, eyem penifo, we've lost it. That's what I'm saying. Say, whatever this lady said, it's been said. And on earth till we all pass away, nobody can clean it. It is there. But how do we handle it? Especially, how do we handle it? Is this the best way we handle issues at Manhyia? Is this how things are handled? You people want to tell us that this is how Otumfuo handles issues. So you people have denigrated. Mati to me na yesisi kejwa wono mati so. Nti won asama na modwene se e wo sanka munya abotre na mpese pesem na mutie mu ye ahopepre ene nkwara bia mutie mu social media nti ahemfie kase sei mu ahemfo amuhia mogu nenim ase. Because this is how most of us now perceive Manhyia. So na Manhyia no sa asem koduru a ahemfo didi atam ni ensem ka sei ene wo ma no enti ye nchiriba na de na ye kire omo. Petty tribal discourse. Ehu ahemfo no mtiti social media na omutie nkwara they don't even understand what they are talking about. Na ahemfo na be eno abeye personal. You know, there's one thing that I noticed. BBC published a story way, right? And you could see clearly say story na BBC published. It basically exposes how our traditional system or our customs, how we need to elevate it. It is archaic. It is primitive. You know why it is primitive? It is primitive, and this is not only to Ebia Asante. It is primitive around the nation. And maybe Assembly and you and they can't Assembly. Now, when you read, and I would see, and I will read a BBC for story now. The BBC reporter interviewed a Manhyia historian. So the statement or the quote that was in the BBC report, it wasn't from somebody on the street. It was from Manhyia Abakwasam Nipa Odano. Now, so already how things are being done, then it means we are at a stage where Sebio Obi Wuno ya nema ye beka se chukobilo ye benom. I'm telling you. And nobody should at the end of the day onto the customs. Na mamre ne manmani entwene na onkofo obi de never. But we are also not supposed to be foolish and carry the ones that have been making things tough for us still around this time. Now, share the story. Let's break this down quickly. I don't want to spend too much time because, to be very fair with you, this story is not relevant. It's not going to change anything in Ghana. This Afia Pokua issue, no, what is relevant about this whole story is the message the woman put out. The co-meanings around it, I don't see it as relevant. It's just a waste of time. The most relevant part of this whole thing is seen in a studying a seminar or ban kayano. Because ohini a wotia semso to be both then it is very critical that we have to be careful about the people we call leaders, because at a point na ahemfo no any abayo ane kasa no ohini ba ko ka say me sure say asuma we have no evidence. If you're a chief we a penyini na ide asem besi wo na so na ogina Otumfuo mpoboma, you don't speculate. Ade friend speculation. So what's the Otumfuo and a sumawa wotene mpoboma, you have speculations and custom. Because the moment you use speculations at the custom, no, then it means to say as someone ankasa unimu na ebia e your time bi and the tiasam no so. Na obi aso nim say ura eye manhyia. Ye ne ne first kedwa e de bosom ketwa ana bosom. That means to say asam na wote so no kra no enye no kra na wudi. In the video me who saw him because oh yasma wako jiska without providing any evidence, no, I felt ashamed for Manhyia. Na ma feria ma or say tutu. If we say nka bosremuka and I say in some yetieti and kwanchan yedidia samu Manhyia dia, then at the end of the day anybody can bribe their way through Manhyia. But because Ashanti King enim say san nyoma no entumi mboa me emfa nchichiri kuro enja edin pa n20 uko Manhyia ansa no Otumfuo betu ohini bi no onfa speculations into hine na nse wetu ahimfu bebre so wuti Otumfuo anu asema me say minim say me hwehwe mu no me tonsa frɛw me busa obia no de me behu ye nie. So he's speaking based on fact. Na so wutina Otumfuo mpabuom na wo so yo hine we frantuma na say all the speculations they bu asema, then without due respect you are more dangerous than Sebio Asantemai eye abosuma yakutia omo. And when I heard that from the chief, me ti saw him because I know man no feme me se feme me say ahindie ne amemu agosa no and they tena Manhyia e the speculations bosremuka and they the kasam Manhyia o yemfa bosremuka and kasam o Manhyia. It means you are lowering the ethics, you are lowering the trust, you are lowering what people perceive Manhyia to be. Now we are all beginning to believe that in Sembebreko Manhyia no a bosremuka judgment, because ohini bia otena asasem we bia so no na otimu ema Otumfuo. That means Otumfuo uses speculations to judge cases in Manhyia. That's a question. They don't even understand why they are doing what they are doing. So I don't spend my time on people who don't even understand, because what you don't know, you don't know. So I wouldn't engage a young man, a young woman who has just heard and say, yeah, Asante for. No, I wouldn't engage you because your level of understanding is very weak. And you are not somebody I have to engage. I have to engage people who matter, who understand this issue. The message from Afia Pokua cuts deep. It cuts deep. And if we don't deal with it, it is going to come and destroy us. People like us, we have spoken on such issues so many times. But normally, it takes one person to, at the end of the day, break some record around all of us. So, a reporter, Manhyia, a BBC, a reporter here now. Let's make it simple. So, we'll read this story now. Journalist apology not enough to satisfy Ghanaian king. Meaning, almost say, Afia Pokua, achopa no kwe no, asante for hine no, ansoneni. Meaning, mo na mo ti wodi nyina na mo represent Otumfuo say tutu. Into so your hine na ahemfo akese e wa santememu Otumfuo ka se kotena makonwam na di asem na odi speculation na otumi bie wa no ka se yetua wo ka yasoma wo na wo sa nipa you don't deserve to even sit at the table of kids. Say enkwara hia eni se nka wotena mu bi. If you say sebio so Otumfuo dim say wa adwene wo fom sa o ma ntena na konwam onim say you are going there to ask for the facts before you speak. Now, so what's our hineno? Why do you know what form we go to for any mercy? I'm being, you see, I don't disrespect anybody, but I want to some only the betray ubua I was awaji. Inti reporting a free BBC nature say Asante King hineno or say a chopana or the buy no onji. Time and cast no Otumfuo to Odabi, and so the records will show that it happened in Manhyia. The record will show. So ohini bia na otia asem no so bia na Otumfuo nti na oto. You see? Enti when we are talking about limiting the relevance of Manhyia, ahemfo no mkotene mu ma Otumfuo no didi obatem, because the whole world that will be on record say Manhyia na yebu no, Manhyia na yenim say sebio Otumfuo maame sebio ka baby nyame fa no nkresie Manhyia na ahema ewo bi no ehɔ ne yɛde ɔbaa bɛbutu hɔ edin atam ɛfa sɛnea ɔteɛ sɛ baby a ofiri ɛno. It shows the mentality of Manhyia. I could have said the mentality of Otumfuo, but I'm not going to say it because Manhyia no Otumfuo dia, Manhyia ya Asante dia. So it's Manhyia na and the baby edin duno. That is what we are talking about. The actions or the statement, the utterances a see wo Manhyia no, it has cut deep. I limited the respect hundreds and hundreds of people around the world to be on the Manhyia, because if you're a human rights advocate, those people around the world who revered Manhyia, when they see such a picture, when they see or hear such utterances from Ohenia or Te Edien or Te Ahimfia or represent the Ashanti King, it means that is what the Ashanti King they recognizes. Don't take these things lightly. Don't see it as another job. No, this cuts deep. And Otumfuo said to he knows what I am talking about. Its implications on his kingdom that they have built. So this, you see it like that. It is not a joke, because Otumfuo nana and I say sebio ohima biba awofra santibem ne amana bebutu fom. I don't care about other people's traditions and customs. I don't care. But even after Obano Butu Hono, in sema a free nipanenumu baye etia Obano, it means the woman has agreed. She has submitted herself and said, okay, you did not even call me here. From what people are saying, I think I have to do this. For you not to even recognize that and to go ahead and use spiteful words against Oba, what's one another them, me. I am ordinary. Me nyohene. Me nya president. Dia mekano endru bebiawo dia obeka, especially when you are representing the Otumfuo. It means you are speaking for Otumfuo. Nti Otumfuo tiwo no, Asante hene tiwo no, eye bosremuka ena ode chechira Santeman. Mi busa eye atanie a ogina camera nim ede tete Santeman. Efri se asem esi wo ho no, senka $100 billion from Mubaya and Quebec as a Manhyia busika. Into everything ends up in front of the leader. Now, sir, Ushe story na BBC here na. Mr. S, Mr. P, stay with me, team. Ushe story na BBC here na. Journalist's apology not enough to satisfy Ghanaian king, and compared to my not enough to satisfy the chiefs, but I'm say Ghanaian king. Bro, for no, how much I say? I'm for no to nyina Otumfuo na neto. It Otumfuo and an edi obatem e TV so. Otumfuo na etu oba ho. Otumfuo na sebio or di obatem e ma wiase nyina ehu. Because who is going to take the responsibility? The person they are representing. Now I'll read this story. There's something interesting in the story I want you to know. And it's good that a year or more BBC reporter no interview the historian of Manhyia or na Manhyia bakwasem or no ena ede or ne nim ni nyina na muntie na monhwade. Now, the comments were not well received by the traditional ruler. The head of the Ashanti Kingdom, Otumfuo Nana Osei II, occupies a powerful position in society, and it is considered hugely disrespectful to openly insult or criticize him. In terms say, as semana sebio menshia bon jusun say, Otumfuo di brane so. Inti eye musio sedien se obeden ube one for buo amano se sebio ube di natam ana se ube chere wa adwene or say criticize him, meaning untumi disrespect Otumfuo ena untumi so enye den and criticize no untumi chere wa adwene. I'm trying to find criticize, the key word. Untumi enchire wa adwene ewo Otumfuo ne hini nsema anana hini a odi. You can't even, do not even share your opinion. Do not even criticize. So Otumfuo ye bibi na se o adwenchire bi ana wo edien eye advice bi a odbe boa no emane de akekere ne man kura. E kire say you are not supposed to do it. This is from the BBC. Me kenkan dwudwam na ma kire bibi. Now, his official title is the Ashanti King. You see the Diankasa. BBC for say the official title done so a Ashanti King. That is Ashanti King. The BBC report, they took it from Atigya, the historian from Manhyia. That means Ashanti King a Ashanti King. Listen. His official title is the Ashanti King. Now, but he is also referred. That means if you are being referred, aka, listen, Kevin Taylor is my official name. People can also refer me, or I can also be referred to as Edien Ibradango. I can be referred to as Edien Yesu Akonta. So my official name, Ninti Akonyana Dino, Edianka se ekutano eye Ashanti King. Nanso yebetumi so afreno. That means those ones coming are not official names. Eye adia obetumi dia kan ama enam no abopi. I say, but he is also referred to as Nyamekesiye. Almost sa efreno, the big God. In quote, meaning that's not official. It means that is what some people say. Nipebi chose to call him Nyamekesiye. That means Ashanti King no omo hu ni say Nyamekesiye eye Ashantifoɔ. Now which means greater God, and as such he is treated with maximum respect. Inti di ankasa di Ashanti King eye Ashantifoɔ King. And as sebio omutumi so esa friend ebia aka Nyamekesiye. Eno no eye ahoaho a ye de ka ne din no ho. Na omo ni say omo ani so no omo asebio Asanteman a Otumfuo di omo so no omo hu Otumfuo so oye Nyamekesiye oye bosom kesiye. Inti sebio omo hu ni say, but the Dianka omo de friend eye Ashanti King if so odi Asante so. Na omo say because Asante hu ni say oye kokuroko a osunti. Omo hu ni say e wo say ye man ebu a sebio ye de ma panyini bia. Maximum respect. Now, when you go for it, this is the BBC, that's not me. The BBC reporter spoke to the Manhyia historian. I say, royal historian, or say Bonsu Safo Kantanka, who works for Ashanti King. You see, royal historian, Manhyia, the Manhyia bekosem nyina edani trim a Ashanti King ama no ho kwan se ono nko na sebio opese obusa Asante amamre abakwasem a oba Manhyia royal adehye ede abakwasem no ono ene free na no ba ono ne die anim a okirikirem. O say royal historian Osei Bonsu Safo Kantanka, who works for the Ashanti King, told BBC, and I quote, that anybody wanting to criticize the leader must follow specific steps. You see, nipa ono na hwe abakwasem so e o Manhyia no ono ena sebio ono no waka oni BBC focus o see so pese oya den a o pese o kire wadwene o pese bibi ko kire na o pese sebio o ka ho asem a e wo se first no ye wo emra bi a wo se wudi so se ba Asante King dia ye wo mra e wo se wudi so. Listen, nipa na o checha abakwasem o Manhyia Otumfuo de ne mpobo ama ne de ahyem no a oye adehye abakwasem on the siesie keka mu nsem no say Otumfuo nipa kese se o pese sebio ahini na obu no de ekoso asantememu se o pese o kire wadwene kura wo ho ana o pese sebio o kire wadwene na o ma Otumfuo hu se bibi koye enkoye e wo se wudi emra bi so if you say Asanteman no omo hu Otumfuo se ɛde nyame kɛseɛ. They see Otumfuo Asante Hene sɛ ɔyɛ ɔmo nyankopɔn kɛseɛ. Now story ni kɔ n'anim say, and I quote, "Way every the historian, the royal historian, or say, and I quote, you go through the Queen Mother. She is the only person who can rebuke him. Nipa na ɔhwɛ amammerɛ ne abakwasɛm so ɛwɔ menhyia na sebio ɛyɛ menhyia kasamafo ɛba ɛyɛ amammerɛ ɛne amanneɛ ɛne sebio abakwasɛm ɛfa menhyia ho ɔse nipa baako pɛ ɛna waasase wɔ esu a obetumi atea Asante Hene ɔno ɛne ɛyɛ Asante Hema. So Asante amammerɛ mu no menhyia ana Otumfuo sɛ tutu ɛyɛ deɛ bosom kɛseɛ ɛyɛ Asante Hema nko na betumi atea no. We need to work on our tradition and customs. Asante Hema nko na betumi atea Otumfuo sɛ ɔyɛ biribi na nya nipa bia ni ho kwan sɛ obetumi atea Otumfuo. Now akoranim no, if you don't go through the Queen Mother and then you do it yourself, then you are in trouble. Or see, sɛ Otumfuo yɛ adeɛ na nyɛ na sɛ Otumfuo etwa sabi na ɛsa no ɛntene endi mboa Asante ɛsɛ Asante nyoma nkɔ yie bibia agiegu ɛyɛ deɛ Asante man no ɛdwerega na sɛ wanko kan kyerɛ Hema na ɔno nko ane nipa obetumi to Otumfuo fo a na sɛ utwagya na okɔka wo de asɛm ama wo ho enti sɛ sebio Otumfuo sɛ tutu yɛ bibi na ɛnyɛ ahene nyɛ anya deɛ ɔsɛ ɛyɛ deɛ bosom kɛseɛ yɛ na Otumfuo yɛ kora na sɛ wontumi nya the route to ana the road ana sɛ the access to Asante Hema Otumfuo sɛ tutu ɔsɛ nyina kan anutum na ɔyɛ deɛ ɔyɛ no. So it means Asante akonnwa no ɛyɛ Asante Hema deɛ. That means Otumfuo is just a vessel. Asante Hema no na ɛyɛ hene. If we say Asante Hema no ebu n'ani gu Otumfuo ne ne bi a ɔyɛ, that means Asante Hema betuma ahwɛ makuro na bɔ. If we say Otumfuo yɛ bibi na obiara ntumi nka nkyerɛ Otumfuo na Asante Hema nko ande bɛka na Asante Hema so yi n'ani a, that means ekuro no Asante Hema betumi ama na bɔ. So Otumfuo is powerless. Sanke ka Asante akonnwa de tumi kuta na if we say mfomsoɔ ɛne sebio ɛyɛ deɛ nipa na nimba no ho so ɛna matumi frɛ ne nsa nti sɛ Asante Hema no yi n'ani a Asante abɔ. That means Otumfuo ne nayem sɛne Asante ɔbɛkyekyere no if we say opanyini bia ni wa ɔnya good counsel so wenya futu pa ɛnya deɛ ɔbɛtumi edi ɔman so. So from this statement from the historian no, it is showing clearly say Otumfuo is just a symbol. He does not control or have any power. It is the Asante Hema who decides how Otumfuo's destiny will end up. Because so oyineni na se Otumfuo ye bibi na nya oman ne bebo. Because from the historian, obia ni obiema at the end of the day obetumi etu Otumfuo fo. Now, Mr. Osebonsu also criticized Mrs. Pokua for saying that Otumfuo Nana Osetutu, who is in his 70s, was hard of hearing. Or see, dear Emma Mubufu and the Crampo de say, Aya Afia Pokua and Casa Otumfuo, Sebio, Asemoba, Ayana on Neti anything. Inti osi enokura ka ho na abufuo ni akoma ne baaye adentina eye Afia Pokua ka che Otumfuo se asema abaaye nyina ye te because imre bi ya ka kire se Otumfuo se tutu panie kura to eye kejeti a Otumfuo te. That means bibie ni asantimema be koso Otumfuo nte inta abaaye wa ne ka che Otumfuo se ade na nyoma ekoso galamsey ekoso ye body patuo enchima no ebebebre na adentina Otumfuo sa nyowa nyina wobu aso oguso say eni se abayewa ne ka kire Otumfuo sa asase ne se ya Otumfuo te a mema ne act. And that is basically what he's trying to tell us. Now, so I want to do this. Mr. P, give me a little bit of time. Let's do this. Very important. So who him na utie story na who read the historian eka na. Hard of hearing. The hard of hearing gonna be that. All right. Now when I quote, if you use this word on even an ordinary person, he will not take it as a criticism. Or say so because oh nana na de ekosi ntina na opese okasa wonte ye nana ye body patu ye se koko ye se nsuo ye galamse wa santimemu a ya sa si se no o se sa okasa e de what disrespect you Otumfuo if you say nipa kura ono onni to me a onam Ghana oka chene se eh na abayewa ana eja wo fie sebio wo pie frifie won fa aduane nje fie okọ also efie hwa ye tan enkoro mo nyina dwonso nti de weni hu ene de wuti emfa ho ose nipa on street kwa okasa asem chade bofu nti Otumfuo de ben kasa asem no do not ose menya wa adwene se nyoma nko ye kura obeka cha Otumfuo se adan na ontu ho anamon samri na me de ama no. Now this is the historian speaking. I think that's the statement from the historian. Now, so when you come down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth, the fourth paragraph. You see this. But Miss Pokua's apologies were rejected by representatives of the Ashanti traditional ruler, and she was asked to leave the palace. That's. Thank you, Mr. S. She was asked to leave the palace. Now, so we read this story now. What's going on? Oh, okay, I got it. We read here. I'm gonna say, and I quote: "Take your cursed self and your troubles with you. Whatever comes your way in the future, deal with it on your own. Do not ever return." The Ashanti King told her, according to local media. Inti nipa obi na no eka asasam ne kire Afia Pokua se fa omusiokọ de abetu bia ento no sa nipa na okasa asa na ya Ashanti King na ekasa because the BBC quoted Ashanti King. And inti na make say Ashanti King ti menhia e di oba atem aka kire so oba se ombutu ho na yati krom ha na eye Dina Samoa ekodi nkranfo ahemfo atem. Do you see how nkranfo ahemfo no handle issue no? You never heard any chief blatantly or blanketedly from my guy, any chief specifically insult Dina Samoa, how she looks, how she's built. They address the issues. So for somebody kneeling in a palace is not new. It happens all over the place. But the issue is, omo na omo bo de enchenku ha omo ye mpenifo a omo tewo wo so omo kasa se mpenyimfo no sebio omo hye Otumfuo cha no did they show say sebio we ye Manhyia? That is where we are looking at it. And this guy say what happened yesterday no, it has denigrated the power of Manhyia. The disrespect people are going to disrespect Manhyia a bit higher. If you say Otumfuo tena Manhyia di obatem, remember obi ana kasa as Otumfuo. I am being critical. Actually, what Jimmy and what Julia will say, as some no crana ye no a how. And it's a would say, and as I read the BBC story now, it clearly tells you, say, the people who represented Otumfuo and as Otumfuo himself, no, he made Ghanaians understand, say, Manhyia na, ye was sa a boma Manhyia no, sa a bodu krabini ho. Issue is the issue itself. Yadwene ho. Abayu ekasa oka Asantefo ngwansem. Oka Ghana asem. Oka president asem. But you see, so your penyinia, you sometimes put away or put aside what you like. Penyini due mantemante. You sit and into the two for ye musemu ye mpenifo mo nhye ne mpobom ma be gu nani ma ase mujira TV so ka say yasoma no hwan na asoma no hwan na asoma no hwan na atam sika mo bi You are making vague allegations. Into ochina so obi so anu betiao says sebio ohene yenkasa say a obekasa wasaka say ti Otumfuo ana. These are things we talk about every time. Memaka abayuari the obeka no wakan wie. Yes no mo betumi eku no. Asɛm no. So what kind report na abakwasam kyerɛ sɛ Otumfuo ye bibi na enya kura ohima nko a na betumi aka kyerɛ no. Mebe sɛ mebusa Asante o. Adentro Otumfuo criticize aban. In what capacity and Otumfuo criticize aban? He's criticizing aban because he's Ghanaian. Anameboa. Into Otumfuo has the right to criticize aban. Adentina yete Ghana na bibi because Otumfuo asase so we cannot criticize. Because from what I know, the Republic of Ghana's constitution is 100 billion bigger than Otumfuo. Otumfuo is just a chief. And I don't disrespect Otumfuo's capacity. But the constitution of this republic, without the constitution, there's no Otumfuo. There's no Ashanti. There's no chief in Ghana. In this Otumfuo de sebio or yen yomane enkoye na se yen to me and criticizing or say kofa eye ohima so a identity Otumfuo's capacity to criticize governments. Why does Otumfuo criticize government? Anakoto de ne budget. If Otumfuo cannot take criticism, constructive criticism, if Amamreno say memma obi and criticize Otumfuo, then Otumfuo needs to respect Amamreno and never criticize anybody. But so Otumfuo bien honas or criticize here, we equally have the same right to criticize. And what you people are getting wrong, and say there's a difference between criticism and insult. What the lady did was criticizing Otumfuo. If we said the ope at the pa akwa kotokono yendina bro yeka se Ghana Asante na the most beautiful tower Otumfuo di ne bebo until we are not going to bypass Otumfuo and speak on problems affecting Asante. Never. Nobody's going to do that unless you are insane. You cannot bypass Otumfuo and speak on the detrimental things happening to Ghanaians living in the Ashanti region. Obi no obetima esa. So Otumfuo per se obi be criticizing. I will say him criticize now. Then with all due respect to 242, he should not criticize anybody in Ghana. He should not criticize anyone that we use our taxpayer money to pay. Because the president is being paid by us. We elected the president. We are the people. The job they are doing, we gave them the job, including Otumfuo. It is Otumfuo sees it fit to criticize the president, criticize government, criticize institutions. Then Otumfuo needs to understand that the same people he is criticizing, because when he criticizes the president, you have criticized the people of Ghana. He's not there on his own. He is there to represent us. It, as far as Otumfuo can criticize, Otumfuo should be willing to take criticism. You people should understand. Unye ready say obebo slapper, men just slap. Unye ready say obeji slapper, men bo slap. It should be simple as that. It is a sign of my way. Ya antena se na ye nyi mfiri ho na ya ntia ye nwase na obi ka asama ye ntia asamo no. Let us listen to the message. Sir abaywa esiso na waka komfo no chi asem. Na say your kind of kra anko ya komfo no chi, is it in a good state? Yeah. It is not. Sir abaywa no aka galamsey nwasem na say bia ensem na firi na no ba na ehon tia. The fact still does not change. Say galamsey ekoswa santimem, nobody is paying attention, nobody is taking a decision. These are facts. There's nothing that has any malice behind what the lady said. In a seminar or and also what you know was saying, how are you people going to react to a seminar? Yenja seminar to Otumfuo Asante King in seminar abayo ne kan efa apomudin a wasantimemu efa eye galamsey a ese asase a nipa ewu deformity yenja ye no to na yene abayo we nkoko se Asante man. Are we helping the generation coming? Asamono yenja nto yenja asamono nto na yene abayo ne nkoko, because I want to know, what is your view on the matter? me busa Asante King question asɛm no yɛngya nto saa na mɛmɛ yɛnka ho asɛm biom galamsey asɛm no yɛngya ka ɛyɛ konfɔno kye asɛm no yɛngya ɛno ka na yɛmfa ani nkɔ so abaayewa no so asɛm no yɛgya asɛm no mo a mote social media edi atam ɛdane we tribal thing no the question is ahemfo no mokɔtena mu ma Otumfuo no asɛm no yɛngya ka asɛm no ɛne galamsey asɛm no ɛne nsu a ɛsɛe asɛm no ɛne kyɛma wontumi a ɔbɔtuo ɛde chemicals egu asase nim asɛm no ne sɛ konfɔno kye no ɛyɛ ban na wɔsɛ osi asɛm no ne sɛ deɛ ɛkɔ so no nyinaa no ɛyɛ fact